Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else in between, welcome to another Mortal Kombat 11 update feed. And unlike the previous episodes, I would like to make a disclaimer. It is almost 1 in the morning and we've watched what I believe is our 4th Kombat Kast, and I dare say it was enjoyable. I dare say there were very few complaints you'd get out of me on this one. So I decided, instead of looking at the characters and talking about the things that I usually talk about in most Kombat Kast discussions and summaries and update videos, instead I would just like to keep this video short and touch up on 3 things that I feel that I should have, well, at least 2 of the 3 things I feel like I should have talked about a week or at least 2 weeks ago as they happened. So this won't be in the vein of the previous videos, because in the previous ones, like I said, I was looking more in depth into what was happening in the Kombat Kast and what was being said, and looking at the potential meta of the game. So I'm going to actually, how can I say this? I'll make an announcement now for something that I will definitely do in the future. After the open beta, I will have a podcast with a few of the MKX and Mortal Kombat community players that I know, and we'll just get a little feedback as to what exactly is going on, people's thoughts, fears and expectations when it comes to Mortal Kombat 11 upon release. And I'll be there as sort of the neutral ground, the non-Mortal Kombat fan, but someone who has a lot of experience playing Mortal Kombat games. Like I said, not a big fan, but I've played a lot of them for a very long time, ever since I was a kid. So I guess that's going to be happening definitely after the open beta. I can't say when, I can't give a specific date, but expect it to happen in the near future. Currently, like I said, it's 1 a.m. in the morning. It's very late. If I fall asleep on this mic, please forgive me. Like I said, if I fall asleep on this mic, please forgive me, because it's been a long week. Feels like every week is a long week these days, but what else can be done? I got the juice chilling in the fridge, popped some popcorn, and I guess let's get straight to it then. What we'll be talking about this time is that we'll have a small chat, just a small chat, on the state of the game. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, just looking at what's there, has anything changed. I feel like it's always good to take account of if anything has changed and what's currently in the game that were being shown in the Kombat Kast. And then the last 2 topics that I would like to just brushing up on. And the reason why I say that is because there is a lot of depth and there is a lot of detail that can go into these 2 final topics, and I feel like these will require reoccurring episodes where we come back and touch upon a few things that I might have said in the beginning. So the second topic would have to be not necessarily the process of, but the concept of game development and the tech that goes with it. And the third topic, that was the second, the third topic would be the effects of leaks on big titles, well, on any title really, especially before release, when you've got huge information leaks, roster leaks, my goodness. How does that affect the game, or at least how I feel that affects the game for the player and for the developer? So before we get into that, I'm going to hit you up with the story trailer. No, actually not that. Let's do it in reverse. I'll hit you with the Cassie Cage and Kano trailer, and then in the end, definitely hit you up with that story trailer. So I'll see you soon.
What's up? 3 strikes and you're dead, Kano.
I only need 2 strikes to gut you.
Know what? That was strike 3.
Fight! fast as you die.
All finesse.
Ready to bleed.
Finish him! Fatality. Cassie Cage wins.
Okay, like I said, we'll be talking just a small little chat looking at the current state of affairs when it comes to the game. The reason why I'm saying it's going to be a relatively small chat is because sadly, well, I can't really say sadly because for some people this is okay. There are no big changes when it comes to the game. The UI has remained the same ever since 2 Kombat Casts ago. I feel like the biggest changes happened with the Cabal Kombat Cast, which I believe was the first one, when we had the stamina values for the offensive and defensive meters, and we had a few icon changes during that same Cabal session. I believe they showed Garrus as well during that stream, so we had like the combo counter looked a bit different. We had the icon next to the combo counter looking a little bit untouched, a little blemished here and there, and the variation icons were a bit different back then. But besides these small minor changes, there hasn't really been much. Like I said, they are playing all the Kombat Casts have been played on Xbox, and I am making the assumption, bear in mind I don't know this for certain, this is just speculation because it makes sense that they're playing on an Xbox One X if they are playing on Xbox due to the controllers being used in the UI within the menus. It would only make sense that they're using a One X for the performance, you know, world's fastest console. I love cheesing my friends with that. I love cheesing. Oh my word, Sony fanboys, hear them roar. But anyway, world's best console, right? So graphical fidelity wise, that's the best I guess you're gonna get, and there hasn't really been much change in terms of visual fidelity over the different Kombat Casts, even from the reveal event. So that's a good thing, in the sense that they showed the game in its final stage. You usually have situations like, I'll bring up this example, a game I love to bits, that's King of Fighters 14. When it was first shown, some people wish it wasn't shown. That's all I have to say. The graphics were really bad. It was really bad. You can go onto the interwebs right now and look for some of the very initial trailer footage of King of Fighters 14 and look at people's reactions to that. People were not happy at all, and I feel like a lot of KOF's reputation was damaged, considering that they had come from such an amazing game as KOF 13 in terms of visual fidelity. That KOF 14's reputation was damaged way before release, just because they showed people footage that I believe was way too early and actually shouldn't have been shown. Well, they learned, the SNK learned their lesson when it came with the reveal of Samurai Spirits, aka Samurai Showdown, aka Sam Show. They showed it in a much, it looked better. It looked way better than what the reveal of KOF 14 was. And that could also just be their knowledge with the Unreal Engine has gotten better, considering the fact that Sam Show is using the Unreal Engine. KOF 14 is more of a proprietary engine, SNK stuff. But so thumbs up to NetherRealms, I guess, for showing the game when it's ready. You know what I mean? So that hasn't changed. We haven't seen much of the menus in the game outside of matches, so I can't speak about those. But overall, like I said, the UI has not changed. I do not like the pause screen though. Definitely don't like the pause screen. But in terms of the rest of the UI, the animations in particular, this game has some of the best animations I've seen in video games, especially in fighting games, in a very, very, very long time. It puts most of NetherRealm's games to shame, in all honesty. I can't even think of a NetherRealm game that gave me this feeling of great animations. The only game I could think of really in the past, you know what I mean, like back when I was a kid, that made me feel like, yo, this really looks cool, like the blows look like they're really connecting, was Mortal Kombat Deception. Besides that, I remember Deadly Alliance looked like Deadly Alliance back then was like the KOF reveal trailer of now. It didn't animate so great. Even back then as a kid, I realized that this ain't doing it, man. This ain't doing it. But that's pretty much it on the state of the game. Not much has changed, and expect what you see right now. Even though the animations are brilliant, what you see right now is exactly what you're gonna get on release day, end of April. I dare say that's definitely it. And then moving on to the second part that I would like to talk about is, game development and the tech that goes behind it. Just a disclaimer, not that it means anything or if it's of any value. I have grown up in the field of sciences, and I, did a lot of computer science. Not saying that it's anything worth talking about, but I majored in comp science in uni, and I did quite a lot of developmental courses after that as well, just furthering my education. And when it comes to the intricacies of game development as a whole, but game development, because games reach out, speak to me in a way that most media don't, because I feel like it's a combination of all the things that I love in life. Great artwork, great music, great visuals. I feel like I'm someone who appreciates and someone who loves great art, and I look at video games to a certain degree as a combination of art and skill within a technical environment. So I look up to game developers as, people who really do great things, really, really great things. And what they do is difficult, It's something I aspire to do at some point or in some stage of my life. And I feel like a lot of work is required to get to where NetherRealms is right now. So you may hear me talk badly about, oh, this game sucks here, or this game, I'm not enjoying this, or I'm not liking this, and I'm busy criticizing a lot of things. That's just my personal opinion on the game. But I would like to iterate right now is that don't take that as it is. I have great respect for what they're doing, because as a game developer, as a artist, as a programmer, as you name it, right? You have to put in a lot of hours, you have to put in a lot of work in large teams and big corporations to get to where MK11 is right now. A lot of work and money and dedication has gone into the creation of this game in every aspect. There is no way this franchise would exist without that work and dedication. The skill, the knowledge, you name it, man. You name it, these people have been through it all. The good and the bad. So I may criticize because, being me, there are certain things that I want in a game, and it hurts me when I don't get those things. It does not mean that these people are doing bad. You don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to make a bad game. Well, at least I hope no one wakes up in the morning going to NetherRealm Studios and saying, okay, today is the day I make the worst game I ever made my whole life. So like I was saying, game development, really difficult thing. Lots of different departments, people of various skills doing various tasks. So to put it all together, the beautiful thing is, if you watch this Kombat Kast, and if you haven't, I dare say you have to go watch it. Listen to what they had to say when it came to the development of the game and the development of the characters. I actually want to go back and listen to that again. It was very insightful. That kind of information you would pay to get, and it was given to you for free in that Kombat Kast. So most definitely go back. I'm gonna go back 100%. As soon as the VOD is uploaded, I'm going back to listen to what people have to say, because the way technology advances and how people use it, I always come up with the example of Ninja Theory, what they did with Hellblade, what they did with the Unreal Engine to make that game with limited resources. Bear in mind, that was a development team of less than 20 people, and they managed to make a stellar, spectacular piece of art, and that was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. And when you look at the dev diaries and you go through step by step what these people actually do, the tech that they use, how they use it, it's mind-blowing. Like I said, we would need to make thousands of videos if we were to actually talk about, or at least scratch the surface on, the intricacies and the details of step by step what exactly goes into making a game, let alone something as big as Mortal Kombat 11. That would take thousands of hours of talking and lectures, something out of my capacity. But the reason why I'd wanted to talk about this is I would like to make you think about how much work and effort and knowledge went into this game. All the artists, all the sound editors and creators, all the cinematography people, all the programmers, all the coders, you name it, the directors, the project managers, they are all there doing job every day for years just to give you the game that you're about to get. May not be the game that you want, but a lot of work was done. But leading on from that, the third topic, the effects of leaks. In my honest opinion, I wrote it down as the effects on leaks. In my honest opinion, a lot of people's wind was blown out of their sails. The reason why I'm saying this is a couple weeks, like a week and a half, if not 2 weeks ago, the entire roster was leaked for the damn game. Pretty much the entire roster. And this came off the back of this whole Summit of Time invitational, some secret invitational where people were getting early access to the game. Like I said in the previous podcast, if you never listened to it, utter bullshit. Utter bullshit. And I'll say it again, Tweety, I am on your side. Call these people out for the nonsense they're doing. But anyway, I've had people say that, now that I know who's in the game and the characters I was looking forward to aren't even in the game, I honestly don't even know if I want this game. You know what I mean? The element of surprise is very important in the unveiling of a product. Anything, whether it be art, music, you name it. Imagine if an artist came up to you, a musician came up to you and said, you can listen to all the songs on my album before I release it. If you do that, what are actually the chances of you buying that album on release? Because one, you've already listened to it, and two, you may not like it. You know what I mean? That element of surprise is a good and a bad thing, because you're buying into something you don't know. You might hate it, but you might like it as well. So if I take away that surprise, that feeling of shock and awe and seeing things for the first time, if I take that away from you, I don't know. I feel like it's a negative thing. It's an emotion that people want to invoke inside of you. And leaking all that information has removed that for me and a lot of people. A lot of people were looking forward to these big character reveals, and it's all gone now. That's why you see we're having Kombat Kast where 2 or soon there'll be probably 3 or 4 characters being revealed all at once, because there's no more surprise. They've ruined the scheduling of the Kombat Kast, because it was like most of the things were supposed to be shown, which was supposed to be a surprise, but it's no longer a surprise. I don't know. I could go on for a long time. Just know that if I were to summarize it, the leaks have hurt marketing. The leaks have hurt their production in terms of the Kombat Kast. The leaks have hurt in terms of sales, because some people may have looked at the characters that are there and be like, you know what, there's no one I want here, so I'm out. Because there are some people, these aren't just functions, these are personalities. Let me correct Peter Combo Fiend Rosas. These are not just functions, these are personas, these are personalities, these are things people aspire to, these are things people idolize. And it's very important in most cases to have your icon in the game. If no matter how good a game is, if my character, if I feel like there's nothing in this game for me in terms of character choice, chances are I won't play it as much or as dedicated as I would if my character was in the game. But anyway, we could go on forever. I promise you we could go on forever. But I promised you for a short video and I broke that promise. So I'll check you people soon. Let me get to bed.
I am Kronika, keeper of time. I guide the destiny of the realms. But my work's perfection has been tainted by Raiden's actions. I enlist all those who disdain the current course of history. By merging past and present, we may draw upon allies from both eras. I offer a greater empire in the new era. Will your Outworld armies defend it?
They shall.
Kotal Khan, we have common cause. Solving this temporal crisis. And in defeating Shao Kahn.
I will have my scouts track Shao Kahn.
Can't someone, anyone, explain to me what the hell is going on? Right? I've been in the future for a whole hour and I haven't seen one jetpack. Not one.
Came from rock bottom with nothing that I saw with wings. I am not stopping, I'm coming, there's more to see. Ignore the dream, now they gotta applaud the king. It's my ego trip, I'm hoping you enjoy the scenes. I'm a monster, you should be avoiding me. I'm a rebel, so shout a council, wanna roll with me.
Elder gods, the realms are in crisis.
Every being will be erased in a temporal Armageddon. Find Kronika's key and gain control of her hourglass. Only then will time's momentum be restored.
We've got to take out Netherrealm's army now, before Liu Kang can bring it here.
As my strength gathers, the new era draws ever closer.